Eco, Lagos. Strategically located on the borders of the Atlantic Ocean, Lagos harbors Nigeria's major air and sea ports and is clearly the undisputed gateway to the country. For decades, Lagos has been the commercial hub of West Africa and the economic nerve center of Nigeria. Widely perceived as the land flowing with milk and honey, Lagos attracts millions of people on a daily basis from within and beyond Nigeria who flood the city in search of the golden fleece. Thus, the phenomenal growth of Lagos, from a small farming and fishing village in the 15th century to the 6th largest megacity in the world today, with a projected population of 15 million people. At its present rate of growth, which is 10 times faster than New York and Los Angeles, a United Nations Habitat study projects that the population of Lagos will hit 24.6 million by the year 2015, making her the third largest mega city in the world after Tokyo in Japan and Bombay in India. Indeed, this sprawling city has a higher population than 32 African countries, and the average population density in the built-up metropolitan areas is estimated to be over 20,000 persons per square kilometer. A unique feature of Lagos is that despite being Nigeria's most populous state, she is the smallest in terms of geographical size. The state is therefore confronted with the immense challenges of managing a large agglomeration of human beings crowded within a limited land area. The location of Lagos below sea level also has serious implications for urban planning and development, as most parts of the state are prone to flooding when rain falls. It is unfortunate that for several decades, successive governments did not pay attention to the need to ensure the planned and orderly development of Lagos State. The master plan of the state was completely abandoned, and people were allowed to build all kinds of structures indiscriminately across the state. People flagrantly built houses even on drainage channels. No distinction was made anymore between residential and commercial areas. Adolescent traders flooded the streets, compounding the already intractable traffic problem. Scores of illegal and unplanned settlements sprouted all over the state, turning the entire terrain into a veritable eyesore. Furthermore, despite the incomparable contributions of Lagos to the national economy, she has never received her fair share of national resources to meet the tremendous challenges of infrastructural development. For example, Lagos has the highest number of vehicles plying its roads in Nigeria. A significant number of these vehicles are heavy-duty trucks conveying goods from the ports to destinations all over the country, thus leading to the rapid deterioration of the roads. Yet, the state does not have access to sufficient resources to effectively maintain the roads and construct new ones. The situation was worsened by the movement of the federal capital to Abuja and the consequent total neglect of Lagos, which still remains the indisputable economic capital of Nigeria. The state has received no compensation whatsoever since the relocation of the federal capital, and the federal government has over time completely abandoned its responsibility to a state that served as the capital of the country for decades. It was thus a state in total disrepair and decay in virtually all sectors that the Tinubu administration inherited in 1999. For the past 6 years, the administration had battled valiantly to reverse the decay of the past and fashion a new Lagos. Impressive strides have no doubt been made in virtually all sectors, including roads construction and rehabilitation, environmental sanitation and beautification, traffic management, schools rehabilitation, judicial reforms, provision of healthcare facilities, amongst several others. However, much more still needs to be done, as the rot of the past had been allowed to fester for too long, for decades. If any meaningful impact is to be made to redeem Lagos and elevate her to a modern megacity of the highest international standards, then the state needs at least 3 times the financial resources currently at its disposal. This entails that Lagos State must receive a more just and equitable share of the Federation account, commensurate with her contribution to the national coffers. Beyond this, individuals and organizations in the formal and informal sectors of the economy must be prepared to pay their taxes, while corporate bodies exhibit a higher sense of social responsibility by contributing to the upliftment of the environment where they do business. One problem, for instance, to which a solution must be found, is the proliferation of slums and squatter settlements, which constitute a blight on the landscape of Lagos. It is estimated that these unplanned communities, numbering about 100, accommodate about half of the people who reside in metropolitan Lagos. These include settlements like Ajegunle, Ayetoro, Anibaba, Badia, Amukoko, Kauka Village, Makoko, Shomolu, Bariga, Ilado, Maroko, and JMJ. Infrastructural facilities in such squatter settlements are inadequate, and the quality of living abysmally low. The environment is so filthy and the unhygienic conditions so poor that the communities constitute health risks not just to their residents but to the entire state. Aside from the slums and squatter settlements, thousands of communities and neighborhoods throughout the state have become crowded, unruly, dirty, and noisy markets. Traders, market women, beggars, and assorted artisans have not only invaded the streets, they have taken up every available space, thus hindering the smooth movement of both pedestrians and vehicles. Areas like Ijora, Onyegbo, Ikotun, Iyano Ipaja, Mile 12, Ido, and Igamu are a few cases that typify what obtains all over Lagos. The motor parks are lawless heavens where touts and other criminal elements terrorize innocent citizens. There is sheer anarchy on the streets as pedestrians, traders, beggars, and vehicles compete for dominance. Surely, no responsible government can allow this to continue. The degree of indiscipline that has come to characterize our environment is best demonstrated in an area like Oshodi, which is a focal point of movement for thousands of Lagosians on a daily basis. From the top of the bridge at Oshodi, all one can see is an endless sea of teeming humanity from morning till night. The most amazing sight here is that of traders displaying their wares right on the rail tracks, a situation which also obtains in Agege. It does not matter to these thousands of traders who set up shop on the rail tracks and those who patronize them that trains still run on these tracks. Once they hear the sound of an approaching train, they quickly evacuate their wares and make a speedy dash for safety, only to return once the train passes, as if it is the most natural thing to do. Not content with plying their wares on rail tracks, on authorized open spaces, and the vehicular highways, traders have equally converted pedestrian bridges in Lagos into markets and shopping malls, with the traders and their patrons hijacking much of the available space on the pedestrian bridges for their commercial transactions. It is no wonder that most times they no longer serve the purpose for which they were constructed. This is certainly a contributory factor to the risks which pedestrians take all over Lagos in ignoring the bridges and dashing across busy highways with vehicles running at full speed. Hundreds of people have been killed this way. Traffic management is a Herculean challenge in Lagos, given the sheer volume of both pedestrian and vehicular traffic on our highways. Matters are not helped by the ubiquitous traders that take over the streets, as well as the legendary capacity for indiscipline by commercial bus drivers on Lagos roads. Not even Broad Street, a key part of the Lagos Island Central Business District, has been spared from the onslaught of the army of petty traders. Here, one finds the astonishing scene where not only has the entire stretch of Broad Street been taken over by traders, they even display their wares right on the doorsteps of the blue chip companies. The consequences of this situation include traffic hiccups, noise pollution, and a disruption of the serene atmosphere necessary for a corporate business culture to thrive. No wonder several blue chip companies have relocated from the area, with negative consequences for the value of property. Hooray, Lagosians! Our dynamic governor makes history again with the commencement of the transformation of the entire Central Business District of Lagos. October 4, 2005, history began to unfold as the action governor, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, flagged off the remodernization, expansion, and reconstruction of the following major roads into international highways. The ongoing redevelopment and modernization of the Lagos Island Central Business District being undertaken by the Tinubu administration will surely help to revive the economic fortunes of the Central Business District and reclaim its position as the fountain of commerce in West Africa. A number of institutions also vividly illustrate the indefensible neglect of Lagos State by the federal government. An example is the expansive Federal Secretariat at Ikoyi, which has been completely abandoned since the movement of the workers to Abuja. A section of the Secretariat got burnt recently, and the structures have deteriorated considerably since their abandonment. Another example is the National Theatre Igomu, an architectural masterpiece which looks elegant and appealing from the distance. A closer look at the structure, which should symbolize the highest standard of excellence in Nigeria's arts and culture, however, shows that it is a time bomb waiting to explode. The entire structure is gradually sinking into the surrounding swamps, another evidence of neglect and decay. The Tinkan Island and Apapa ports located in Lagos generate billions of naira for the federal government annually. In the first quarter of 2001, for instance, Nigerian Customs Service commands in Lagos realized the sums of 12.4 billion naira, 18.8 billion naira, and 1.2 billion naira from the Tinkan Island, Apapa, and Kirikiri ports. And in year 2002, the federal government realized about 104.7 billion naira from the three ports within the first 9 months. But take a look at the entire environment around the ports. See the scores of traders and all the vehicles that have converted the highway to their parks and create a traffic nightmare for motorists. The impact of these heavy-duty vehicles on the road is evident in the bad, crater-infested roads all around the ports. Is this what Lagos deserves for harboring the ports and generating so much income for Nigeria? This is clearly unacceptable. On its part, the Lagos State government, under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has not rested on its oars, but has worked hard in the last 6 years to reinvent the state and restore its glory. In the area of roads construction and rehabilitation, for instance, it has constructed high streets of international standards across the state, complete with drainage channels, street lights, and pipe ducts. These include Adeola Odeku Street, Victoria Island, Akin Adeshola Street, also on Victoria Island, Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, Kudirat Abiola Way, Oregun, Ikotun Igondo Road, Isheri Ijegun Road, Lawansin Itire, Yaba Ojuelegba Road, and Agege Motor Road, among several others. Before the advent of the Tinubu administration, there were very few traffic lights on Lagos roads, and there was hardly any that functioned. Today, traffic lights exist in most major roads in the state, and more importantly, they are functioning and being obeyed by motorists. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASTMA, established by the administration to enforce traffic sanity on the roads, has contributed significantly towards ensuring smooth vehicular flow on many roads in Lagos. It is virtually impossible these days to find motorists in Lagos driving against traffic, as was rampant before the establishment of LASTMA. Equally, very visible across the state are members of the Kai Brigade, set up by the Ministry of the Environment to enforce the state's environmental laws. While men and women of the highway managers can be seen in their orange overalls, clearing the highways on a daily basis, the men of the Emergency Flood Abatement Gang (EFAG) are equally hard at work clearing drainages and channels across the state. The Ministry of the Environment has also partnered with the private sector to beautify open spaces and roundabouts in several parts of the state. There is no doubt that the odds are daunting. The challenges are immense and the problems are deep-seated, having been allowed to persist for several decades. But, in spite of all these, a new Lagos is gradually emerging under the dynamic leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. However, to get to the promised land, individuals and corporate bodies must complement the efforts of government by paying their taxes and obeying the environmental laws of Lagos State.